Good afternoon, everyone. This is former Constable Stephen Wiggs of the 16th Ward, Allentown, Pennsylvania State Constable Office. And I'm coming to you guys this afternoon with some mind-boggling questions for the Essex County Sheriff's Department of New Jersey. I want to publicly, on this platform, drop these questions here because I'm tired of people in the law enforcement community attacking me in private and getting away with it. So I'm going to expose these questions for the viewers, because at this time my career is in the basement as a peace officer. My career is in a basement because of corruption. My career is in a basement because of ego. My career is in a basement because I stood up for myself against people that wanted to control my system, my agency. And as the elected official sworn to protect the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and protect the citizens, upon my oath, I vowed to do that and I got burned for it. So there is a lot of questions. Well, not that many, but strong questions that I have for the Essex County Sheriff's Department. Because there's just things that went on that a lot of people really would not understand on a normal day. A lot of my videos and posts on my civilian page, unless I actually provided video, like my body cam footages of my interactions with these agencies, no one would believe a word that is coming out of my mouth. But because I provided video evidence of the events, things change. And it's okay that people didn't believe me before the videos were actually seen, because no one knew who I was. No one knew me other than my team back in Pennsylvania. No one really knew me, so no one really had any real reason to listen to what I was actually saying. So with that in mind, what these guys have gotten away with is an opportunity to use their celebrity. These officers use the celebrity of their uniforms to burn me, because the constable's office in Pennsylvania, since about 1992 to 94, a select few guys started a campaign to make the constables look less like police officers and more like process servers for the court. Less like law enforcement and more like process servers. Understand, people that are process servers don't have to be law enforcement. They don't have to be officers of the court. They don't have to be bailiffs. They don't have to be sheriffs. They don't have to be constables. Any person that is able, that is about 18 or 21 and over can serve process. So that is not a law enforcement function per se. Okay? So I am now coming with some questions and concerns to the Sheriff's Department of Essex County, New Jersey. Okay? Because no other law enforcement agency in Jersey disrespected me. They honored me, all of them honored me as a fellow law enforcement officer before the Essex County Sheriff's Department did what they did. But see, the Sheriff's Department of Essex County did not act alone. They had help. They had help. They had corrupt troopers and corrupt constables helping them, and also a corrupt judicial system in Lehigh County helping them. Okay? They did not act alone. They had people feeding them bad information purposefully in order to get me jammed up. Because what they charged me with in New Jersey is the same charges that I had faced in Philadelphia County. Like, I just want people to really pay attention to that, because many people overlook it, or they see it and they brush by it. The news reporters have brushed by it. They didn't really pay much attention to it. They didn't want to open it up in such a way because it was going to peel back the onion that a lot of people did not want to face and expose all of the corruption that was there moving forward after the onion was peeled back. So let's get to these questions. Let's get to some of these questions. Okay. My first question to the Sheriff's Department is the Essex County Sheriff's Department. I want New Jersey to understand that I'm not coming after every law enforcement agency in New Jersey. I want the law enforcement agencies in New Jersey to understand that I'm coming after those that are directly involved with the corruption that came my way, of which destroyed my relationships, destroyed my integrity, destroyed my name, destroyed my livelihood, and had me facing my family, and no one could understand why. My son, my kids, everyone destroyed my life. I want the law enforcement agencies that I've had good relationships with outside of those that are involved. Okay? To know that I'm not bashing them. When I say New Jersey, I mean those that are directly involved. So if you know you don't have, to any chief of police, okay, to any chief of any agency, to any sheriff, elected sheriff of any other sheriff's office, to the New Jersey state troopers, I want you all to know that when I say New Jersey law enforcement, I'm not talking about in general. I'm speaking specifically to those who are involved. So, now that we got that clear, let's get to these questions. First question to the Essex County Sheriff's Department. Oh man, that must be nasty. First question to the Essex County Sheriff's Department.
Incoming call. Press the pickup button to answer. Incoming call rejected.
First question to the Essex County Sheriff's Department is, what was your probable cause? What was your probable cause to detain me in the courthouse for my firearm, for my credentials, for anything? What was your probable cause? See, I asked that question because, as I can recall, I've been in that building on Washington Street 3 to 4 separate times paying my child support and checked my weapon in with you guys as an off-duty law enforcement official each time. I never, not once, came into that building without my firearm and checked it in. I've always came into that building with my firearm and checked my weapon in your lockbox. So, if you did not jam me up the first, second, third, or potentially fourth time, what was your probable cause to do it on the 3rd of December 2019? What was the reason? What was your probable cause? That's the first question. Okay? None of this makes any sense. You see, in the paper, it came out that I was just walking around the courthouse with my gun, or that I had a court hearing. I never had a court hearing. I was going to pay child support. Okay? I was going to pay child support. Now, the next question. You threw me in your holding cell after you allowed me to check my weapon in for the last time. Yes, people, I want you guys to know that the Essex County Sheriff's Department did not take my weapon off me. They allowed me to walk it into their chambers and check my weapon in myself. On the date they arrested me. 12/3/2019. December 3rd of 2019. Okay? So, going forward, I'm thinking. Now, while in your holding cell, Essex County Sheriffs, while in your holding cell, you guys said that I had a warrant anyway. So you guys found out about the warrant that I had, which was for child support out of Warren County, right? A warrant that I had no knowledge of. You know, I was a constable. I ran the 16th Ward Constable Office of Allentown, Pennsylvania, an agency amongst the oldest law enforcement systems of the United States. Okay? I was the elected official chosen by the people, sworn in my courthouse, my county courthouse of Lehigh County. Certified law enforcement official through the state of Pennsylvania. I serve warrants just as well as you do. So, I asked, after you guys told me that I had an outstanding child support warrant, and I asked what was outstanding, and you guys told me $300. $300. I'm just like, I'm there to pay child support. You guys just couldn't let me pay my child support? I couldn't understand for the life of me. Why wouldn't you guys just let me pay my child support? Why wouldn't you guys just give me the courtesy of allowing me to pay the warrant? Because you guys had no probable cause to bother me in the first place, other than you guys actually knowing about the warrant before I got there. So you guys made it appear as though you found out about the warrant after detaining me. You guys had no probable cause to detain me in the first place. You found out about the warrant, so you say, during your investigation, but you had no reason to detain me in the first place, because you allowed me to come into that building more than once with my firearm, and I showed you my credentials each time, and I put my agency on the book, checking my name in as a person of a law enforcement entity carrying a weapon inside the courthouse. So, what was your probable cause? You didn't have any. You did not have any probable cause to mess with me. unless you knew about the warrant before I got there. You guys knew about the warrant before I showed up. You see, I know that it came up in your system where I was paying my child support to the Warren County Sheriff's Office, the county of which my child support was out of. Okay? So since they saw that I was paying my child support in Newark, New Jersey, they got in contact with you guys and requested that you guys allow me to know about the child support warrant. Now, understand, the only reason the warrant came out, citizens, good people, the only reason the warrant came out is because I mistakenly went above the stipulation date that my hearing officer imposed upon me. What does she impose? She states, if you go past 2 weeks, the third week, if you go past 2 weeks without paying child support, the third week, a warrant would be issued for your arrest. And that's what happened. So I went to go pay child support after the warrant came out. This is the reason why these guys felt as though they had leverage at this point to hem me up at this time. Okay? You see, you guys are not dealing with an idiot here. I know what's going on. The troopers of Pennsylvania got to you guys because on the date of August 12th, 2019, the troopers were forced to give me back my 2 firearms that they took from me and all of my police gear after I was found not guilty of impersonating. Okay? And then I find out on May 16th, 2022, that the troopers of Philadelphia County, the same troopers, launched a malicious investigation on me, following me into New Jersey when I would visit my wife and family. And they found out where I was paying my child support, and they put the Essex County Sheriff's Office up to do their bidding. They could not put me away. They could not stop me in Pennsylvania. So they themselves wanted to get me jammed up by the Essex County Sheriff's Office. How do I know this? Because when I was in the sheriff's holding cell, one of the first things the Essex County Sheriff's Office told me was that the troopers said they arrested me for impersonating as well. Which brings me to my next question to the Essex County Sheriff's Office. After you, Essex County Sheriffs, told me that the troopers told you that they arrested me for impersonating, I single-handedly volunteered to tell you guys where my police cruiser was. You guys didn't have to do no investigations. You guys did not have to find out that I had a cruiser out there. I told you where it was. The question is, when I gave you guys my keys to the cruiser and told you guys to go get the dispositions to the cases that the troopers told you about, why did you not get the dispositions? You guys went to that vehicle and you tore that vehicle apart in terms of raffling through things. But yet the item that I asked you to go get was still in the same location when I picked up the car from the impound, indicating that you never touched it. What did I give you guys my keys for? What did I tell you guys about my cruiser for? I told you guys about the cruiser because in the cruiser it had the dispositions to the impersonating charges that the troopers had told you about. You guys did not go and get those dispositions. You guys had a hidden agenda. You guys, in my theory, went to go look for another gun. Went to go look for another gun is what I believe you went to go do. Okay? Now, let's just think about the question. What did you guys go to my cruiser to do? Why didn't you guys get the dispositions? Why didn't you guys get the dispositions? You see? Because those dispositions would have stopped you from filing the charges of impersonating. Because you would have seen the dispositions. Okay? Now, my next question to you Essex County Sheriffs. I got word and I saw in the probable cause affidavit that you guys had spoken to a representative from my agency out of Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. And this representative was directed to you, or you guys were directed to this representative by my courthouse. Sheriffs, if it's one thing I know New Jersey law enforcement don't know much about Pennsylvania, is how law enforcement systems are ran in Pennsylvania. New Jersey law enforcement systems would often think that Pennsylvania is ran exactly the same way. I can tell you guys, Pennsylvania is drastically different. Okay? So, with that being said, let's open this up. You guys spoke to another elected constable. This constable told you guys, in order to establish credibility to throw me under the bus. This constable lied to you guys about his status. Okay? This constable told you guys that he was the president of the Lehigh County Constable Office. The president of the Lehigh County Constable Office. I can tell you that there is no such office and has never been such office in Pennsylvania at all. There is no county constable office in Pennsylvania. There are offices within each county of Pennsylvania, and one of which I was the elected official of. Therefore, that constable had no jurisdiction over me whatsoever. He was on the same exact level as I was, as the elected law enforcement official. Just the same as there is no elected sheriff over another elected sheriff. Okay? So, what did this constable do? After lying about his status to gain credibility in order to tell you guys a malicious lie, in order to help throw me under the bus, working with the Pennsylvania State Troopers, working with other systems that wanted to jam me up in my state. He told you guys that I had no authority to carry my firearm into the state of into the state of New Jersey. He lied drastically to you people. So my question to you guys is, why didn't you do your own research? Why didn't you do your own research? Because understand, I got detained in 2017 by the New Jersey State Park Police. I got detained by the New Jersey State Park Police for the same exact thing, my firearm. And I got thrown in a holding cell, and the lieutenant said, if everything checks out with you, you know, I'll apologize for the inconvenience myself, and you know, and that's how that will go. And let you go. Get out of, you know. And that is what happened. They did their own research into the office of constable and found out that we were just as much law enforcement as they were. And they apologized. The lieutenant came into the holding cell, took me out of their handcuffs, and apologized to me directly for what they did. So what did they find out on their own that you guys couldn't find out on your own about my agency? That's the question. You listen to this guy that was not a superior over me. He's on the same level as I was. I'm not his boss and he's not my boss, but you listened to him. I feel as though you guys had a hidden agenda and you listened to anyone that was going to feed that agenda. And that's the bottom line. Now, Essex County Sheriffs, I have a question for your undersheriff of that time. I'm not sure if he's there today, but I have a question for that sheriff, undersheriff. I have a question for the undersheriff. Okay? Because the undersheriff said something to me when I was in your holding cell. Okay? The undersheriff says to me, the lock boxes are not for off-duty law enforcement. Y'all lock boxes are not for off-duty law enforcement. If this is the case, then the question is, what are your lock boxes for? Because the last I checked, I put my weapon inside there multiple times. And that has always been what a lockbox was for, as far as my knowledge go, because New Jersey did not have civilians carrying guns inside of government buildings in such a way at all. So who else would those lockboxes be for? If it wasn't for off-duty law enforcement, why would the lockboxes even exist? Why wouldn't you just turn guys away that was carrying a firearm as an off-duty law enforcement officer? See, the lockboxes are for a convenience. If you're on personal business in the courthouse, they have a lockbox for the officers that's off-duty convenience. For them not to have to leave their weapon inside their cars, taking a risk for somebody to break in the car to steal their weapon. So, your undersheriff, the second in command, told me that your lockboxes was not for off-duty law enforcement. Now, it was either he was in denial of the idea that I had checked my weapon in multiple times, or he was just straight up lying to me. But then get this, as I was being transported to the county jail by your sheriff's officers, I asked your sheriff's officers while I was in the back seat of the SUV, what was your lock boxes for? I asked them, and they disclosed to me the lock boxes are for off-duty law enforcement. They told me that. So my question is, who's telling the truth? Because my actions prior to the arrest date aligned with those sheriff officers, not the second in command, but the officers themselves. So there is some things going on here that the citizens need to know about, that I want the citizens to know about. I have questions, and those are some of the questions that I'm throwing out there, and I would like for those questions to be analyzed and answered by the sheriff's department. Okay? Because you guys jammed me up and helped with destroying my career. You guys put me all over the news and had my son being targeted because it came out in the news that his father was arrested for impersonating. And my son had to go through those challenges. Could you imagine, people? Could you imagine actually being the person that they said you was impersonating? Man, that is deep. That is some deep stuff. You know? This is one of the major reasons why this channel is created. This channel is created in retaliation to what these corrupt cops have done to me. A police impersonator, a real police impersonator, does not fight back after being charged with impersonating. Every police impersonating video I've seen, no one fought back. But how many officers do you see, real, sworn, trained, certified law enforcement officers, as I have been, do you see getting charges for impersonating who they are? Now, I'm going to throw this quick snippet real quick because I know some people like to talk mess about what came out in Lehigh County in terms of how my judge removed me from my office. They said, now this is a side note, they said in the news that my judge removed me because I did not live in Lehigh County, but I lived in Newark, New Jersey. This is what they said. Understand, I visited my wife, okay? Officers traveled and followed me to my wife's place. This is following a malicious attack on from the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office on me. Okay? And my judge did not say I did not live where I was living. He maliciously removed me from office, stating that I did not stay there enough for his liking. He said I was not staying there physically, going home. So we're talking about a grown man trying to tell another grown man when to go home. Who does that? Who does that? The owner of the house testified in court that I lived at the residence. But then he also testified that the Lehigh County Lehigh County county detectives did not like the answer he gave them. And he told the court of the Commonwealth that they forced him into saying I did not live there. Yes, they forced him to lie. They did not like his statement indicating that I lived at the residence. This was the only way they felt they could beat me. They cannot lawfully challenge the authority of the constable office. They had to come through and lie and put pressure on my friends. This is what they did. He testified in court to it. And then when we showed more than enough evidence that I lived at the residence, the judge says, well, you didn't live there enough, or you did not stay there enough. Who the hell are you to tell me when to go home? I'm a grown man. You see people? Do you see corruption at its finest? That's for a whole nother video. But to leave off on what the topic is about, you Essex County Sheriffs are dirty. You Essex County Sheriffs are dirty. You know, I don't know all of you, but I don't even know the officers that did what they did to me. I've never known you guys a day in my life. I've never known you guys a day in my life. But you guys are dirty as hell. You know, I never thought I would become a whistleblower, but the corruption led me this way, and I don't like bullies, man. So think about these questions that is going out to the Essex County Sheriff's Office. Bring it up to them. Show them this video. Show them this video. Show them. We're asking them questions because their integrity is in the basement right now. That's just what it is. Crooked cops. Wigs out.